Okay, folks, we're looking at job 35 right now, and job 35 is really your first crack at creating a business letter kind of from scratch. And like I said, this is one of the most difficult tasks that a lot of students find, and it's something we want to make sure we get right off the bat. So when we're looking at a business letter, we want to make sure we follow exactly the rules as described at the beginning of this lesson. So the very first thing you want to do when you're making a business letter is you want to leave space for that letterhead right in here. So we need to adjust our top margin. So we're going to do that. So we'll double click on this. Right now it's set to 1 inch. We need it to be set to 2 inches. So we can just double that up. So 2.54 times 2, 5.08. It's equal to 2 inches. Yours might even say 2 inches, but if you're in centimeters, it's 5.08. So now we're starting a little bit lower. Perfect. It leaves space for the letterhead. Now, what we're doing next, we need everything single spaced. It is single spaced. We're in good shape. We want everything to be in Times New Roman, so we'll make sure we're in Times. And now I think we're ready to go. So we want to start off by writing the date. And the date today is February 13th. Is it 13th? Yeah, 2020. Excellent. And now we're going to leave three lines in between, 2, 3. And then we'll start by writing our addresses. So in this, we were given the address, but we need to kind of format it exactly how I've done it for you on our very first page. So the very first thing we do is put the first and last name. So we are writing to Betty Smith, and then we write their position. So we're actually not sure exactly what her position is. We cannot put that in then, so we will skip right to our address. So she's located at 17 Gage Avenue South, Hamilton, Ontario, and the postal code of L8M3C7. So we're already doing great in terms of our letter format, and one thing that I went a little too fast on, the city, province, and postal code should all be on the same line, so we should have that. You can leave it as ON. You could also write out Ontario if you so choose. Either one would be perfectly acceptable. Next thing we want to do, we want to leave one blank line, and then we will address them. So we're writing to Betty Smith, so we can say, Dear Miss Smith. And then we can start our letter. So you're going to be able to type out the letter here. The letter really comes with this gigantic body, and sometimes we have an intro, sometimes we have a conclusion. Here, we weren't given one, so we'll just use our body exactly as written there. So let's go. You're going to have to type it out. I have already typed it out, so I'm just going to copy it in here. So I'll copy it and get rid of some of the formatting. And I'll just clear all our formatting. Great. And times. Perfect. So what we want to do now is we want to make sure we format this exactly kind of as described here. So this and sign should denote a new line for us. So we're going to start that on a new line. We always leave a nice little space. So this kind of acts as our introduction to what we're going to be talking about in our business letter, basically thanking her for subscribing to the new magazine. Perfect. There are some spots in here where it says to create a new paragraph, so we got to make sure we do that. And new paragraphs in business letters are a little bit different than the new paragraphs that you're working with when you write an essay or something like that, because you have to leave a space and you typically don't indent. So we will do another new paragraph here where it says to, and we are looking good. And that is the end of our body, which is great. So our complimentary closing, all we need to do here is kind of take a look at what we were given. And so all it says is you're writing as the subscription manager. So that's going to be our title when we are signing off, so to speak. So we can say sincerely yours, because that's what it tells us to write. Sincerely yours, and then you would just write your name. So whatever your name is, my name is Mr. Falcone, so I'm going to type that in. And then my position directly underneath, just like that. Okay? this looks good, but what didn't I do? Well, I didn't leave myself enough space to sign this letter. Should I print it out and then send it off? So I actually need to have some space in here. So I need to have 1, 2, 3 blank lines in here. Enough space for me to sign it. Perfect. And I think that would be it. So just make sure we don't want to forget the date, don't want to forget the salutation. We've done all of that, so we are good to go. That is job 35 complete.